Here we see an MRO technician holding a small screw and asking, "It's just a small screw. How big can the problem be?" But the auditor replies, "For you, maybe small. For me, major finding." This perfectly shows the difference between operational thinking and compliance thinking. To a mechanic, it may look like just another spare part, but to an aviation auditor, every part must have proof, where it came from, who approved it, and whether it's safe to install. This box labeled "Unknown History" is the biggest red flag in aviation maintenance. These are parts with no traceability, no certification, unclear origin, or missing maintenance history in aviation. Every component must be traceable from manufacturer to aircraft installation. If nobody knows where a part came from, regulators treat it as unsafe, even if the part looks perfectly fine. Now look at the auditor's checklist. The findings include untraceable, not certified, no documents, non-compliant, major risk. This is exactly how aviation audits work. Auditors don't just inspect the aircraft, they inspect the paperwork behind every component. Because in aviation, documentation equals proof. This sign represents one of the most famous rules in aviation maintenance. If it's not documented, it didn't happen, even if a repair was done correctly. Without records and signatures, regulators assume the work never occurred. That's why aviation maintenance involves so much paperwork and digital tracking. The coffee mug says, "In aviation, even a small part can ground you." And that's completely true. A missing bolt, incorrect washer, expired seal, or undocumented screw can stop an aircraft from flying, not because aviation is overly strict, but because safety depends on precision. In aviation, compliance and documentation are just as important as the repair itself. Every part matters. Every part must be certified. Every action must be documented, because aircraft safety is built on trust, and trust comes from traceability. One undocumented component can trigger a chain reaction. Audit findings, aircraft grounding, flight delays, financial losses, and damage to reputation. That's why airlines and MRO organizations invest heavily in quality control systems. So the next time you board an aircraft, remember, safety isn't only about pilots and engines. It also depends on thousands of tiny parts, carefully tracked, documented, and verified. Because in aviation, small part, do it right, document it. Safety first. Like, share, subscribe for more aviation insights.